Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mercy. I am a 42-year-old corporate executive and I share tips and hacks for healing, growth and abundance here on YouTube. So today we are going to talk about the classic I'm ambitious but lazy paradox. Are you ambitious? Do you have big dreams? Do you want to level up and evolve, but instead of getting into action, you just delay, avoid, and distract yourself? Well, don't worry, that's most of us. But just by blaming yourself or feeling anxious about it, you're not gonna get out of this situation. You need to understand that underneath there is a mix of psychological, neurological, and social cultural factors. I'm going to dive into those three underlying causes and then provide strategic solutions to bridge the gap between your aspiration and your action. Now let's get started with the first factor. When you've been pushing yourself mentally, emotionally, or physically, your body and mind would literally refuse to keep going. This will show up as procrastination or avoidance, but it's not laziness, it's survival. Your system is trying to protect you from more overwhelming stress. Because the human brain is wired to prioritize energy efficiency, it's actually a survival mechanism we inherited from our ancestors who needed to reserve energy in harsh environments. And ambitious goals would trigger the brain's instinct to avoid those perceived high-cost efforts. This is why you can easily fantasize about success, which is ambition, but delay in action, which is the so-called laziness. Another thing that could stress your brain and cause a burnout is perfectionism. So ambition often coexists with this paralyzing fear of imperfection. If you only want to do things perfectly, your brain might go, oh well, why bother starting them? And you scroll on your phone, hit the snooze button, and basically put things off. It's not that you're not driven, but that you are scared of doing things wrong. You are subconsciously protecting yourself from potential disappointment. But here's the thing, no one started perfect. I'm gonna give a really cliched example just to remind you how obvious it is. Do you think Thomas Edison invented the light bulb the first time he tried? No, of course not. He started trying something, and when that didn't work, he tried something else. And he's famously known for saying that, I've not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. We learn from our mistakes in practice and refine our actions in the process. The first steps don't need to be perfect at all. They just need to be taken. It's like when you turn on a new water tap, you wait for the dirty water to come out first before you can get the clean water. Perfectionism is like you only want the clean water, so you are too afraid of even turning on the tap, and you just end up never getting any water. There is a constant tug of war happening in our nervous system between the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system. It's basically sense and sensibility or rationality versus emotion. It's the feeling of, I know I should eat healthy, but I will just go for the sugar and saturated fat. Or I know I should do some work, but nah, I will just knock myself out with the bottle of alcohol over there. The prefrontal cortex is the frontal lobe. It's the very front of your brain and responsible for focus, logic, planning, decision-making, and regulating behavior. It helps you think long-term, resist impulses, and act intentionally. The limbic system is located deeper in the brain under the cortex. You might have heard of its key parts like amygdala and hippocampus. The limbic system is your visceral brain and is responsible for your emotions, memory, survival instincts, and motivations. It responds very quickly, especially to fear, pleasure, stress, and it seeks immediate rewards. Now you see the difference. You can tell that those two systems can sometimes clash. For example, the limbic system is like, right, I'm gonna spend all my money today because I really don't care about what happens tomorrow. and the prefrontal cortex will go, let's slow down and think this through. Is it actually beneficial in the long run? You see, ambitious goals require long-term planning, but the limbic system craves instant gratification. This is why you binge watch videos instead of starting your own business. It's also why you can feel so motivated at night, but wake up to no drive in the morning. The end of the day can bring a sense of closure. Distractions are minimal and you are relaxed, so the limbic system becomes more engaged in creative thinking with heightened ambitions and motivations. This is called the limbic excitement. But when you wake up, prefrontal logic kicks in and your brain starts to organize and plan how to execute those thoughts into action. And all those big ambitions last night just seem way too overwhelming at this moment, especially if your sleep quality is poor and you actually feel tired from not resting well, or if you have a lot of self-doubt. In today's culture, social media is an essential component, but it also makes you compare yourself with others a lot more, especially with those who seem successful and at a young age. It's just natural that you want to match their success, and this comparison amplifies your feelings of ambition. But the constant pressure to compete will lead to overwhelm. You know, when you are driven by external validation like money, status, or fame, you will struggle to maintain motivation over time and feel burned out, because you are not as fulfilled as when you are driven by intrinsic motivation like your passion or personal growth. Imagine an egg. When the pressure is from the outside, it gets crushed and dies. But if the shell is cracked by pressure coming from the inside, it's life and growth. So if you set your goals based on societal expectations rather than your own personal desires, you will find it challenging to stay motivated because you are not aligned with your purpose and you feel drained. It's like if your true passion is to become a filmmaker or a musician, but you work in finance. It's supposed to be a very nice job, but when you push yourself to climb that career ladder, you just feel demoralized and undervalued. You become disengaged and eventually appear lazy. So, what are the strategies for overcoming this paradox of being ambitious and lazy? First of all, you need to realize that you are not lazy, and you are certainly not a lazy person. Let's not identify ourselves with a problem we face. You might have lazy patterns or appear to be lazy, but labeling yourself as lazy will keep you stuck. Just remember that you are not your struggles. And once this is in your awareness, you can start looking at what's happening objectively and start thinking about solutions. The first step you take is to get enough sleep. Yes, sleep. Modern society really undervalues sleep, but it's so important to your health and cognitive function. Everybody's different. Not everyone can deal with just 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. Do you know how many hours Einstein slept a day? 10 hours, and Jeff Bezos 8 hours, and even Bill Gates, who used to compete with colleagues who slept less hours, now stated the importance of sleep that he overlooked in the past and aims for 8 hours a day. And if you need more to feel energized, do it. Don't feel bad about your own sleep requirements. The second step is to embrace imperfection and view setbacks as learning opportunities. This is going to significantly reduce your fear of mistakes and get you into action. Action. The third thing to do is to break your goals into bite-sized, manageable steps. For example, instead of planning to write a book by next week, start with 200 words a day to bypass the brain's resistance to large tasks. And most importantly, if you find yourself ambitious but lazy, reevaluate your purpose. Are your goals authentically true to yourself? Are you just competing with somebody? Are you trying to meet others' expectations? Give yourself some time to find out your passion, explore your options and potential. And believe that the universe is abundant. It has everything you need to offer. And those, my friends, are the strategies to align your actions with aspirations. I'd really love to know what you think causes people to be ambitious but lazy, and if you have solutions to deal with it. Please leave a comment below and let's chat. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!